Blue line. I hate to tell you this, buddy. You're not going to be able to. Sorry. We the People News is no more. I debated on even getting on here and even doing a live stream. Effective immediately at midnight, both YouTube channels are coming down. And the website. Federal court hearing tomorrow morning, 9:15. Lake Charles, Louisiana. And I've made the decision to pull We the People News. It's not worth all the bullshit, everything that's taken place. This fight that I've been in for 8 years is not for me. It's for all of y'all. And the numbers speak for themselves. I have literally lost everything in a fight for freedom. Marine Corps veteran. Lost my family. Lost vehicles. Lost years of my life to corruption over and over again. We take Galveston, Texas as a prime example of one of the more recent events where I lost a year and a half of my life. My car got sold at public auction because a fucking sheriff's deputy from Lafayette County, Mississippi, who got exposed for lying on stand in court, decided that she was going to play a part in calling in a favor over state lines. Hold on, this is everything just froze up on me. If you can see me, hold on, let me pull it up on my cell phone because my laptop just fucking froze up. All right, I'm just gonna let it all air out. You know, it's hell. After midnight, I'll extend it a little later. I had trouble getting on here. I had to update my computer. I'm working remotely, as I always fucking do. I'm completely displaced. Have this constitutional challenge in Lake Charles, Louisiana, in federal court tomorrow morning at 9:15. And I can tell you how it's going to go. I can tell you exactly how it's going to go. It's going to go the way it's gone the entire fucking time. Because power does what it wants. It completely mends situations. It destroys lives. It separates families. It robs. It cheats. It steals. Because it can do that. And the only thing that's going to ever put it in check are the eyes of the public. And when I look at Even just this latest thing about the humanitarian crisis with the Red Cross calling in NCIC or conducting an NCIC check. If you don't know that story, I don't know where you've been. I mean, it kidnapped once again and hauled across the state of Louisiana to disrupt another federal court hearing. This is what happened. Okay, or this is basically what's going to happen tomorrow. If you haven't, probably most of y'all haven't seen this. Watch this. On every time. Stuff does the same thing without fail every time. All right, there we go.
As you watch this ruling scroll by on your screen, I want you to understand something very clearly. This document is not justice. It's not neutrality. It's not the law applied faithfully to the facts. What you are reading is a rationalization. Page after page, you'll see language that sounds judicial, measured, restrained, authoritative. But language alone does not make a ruling legitimate. What matters is what is confronted and what is avoided. And what this ruling avoids is the truth. Let's start with the evidence that was never preserved. The most critical video evidence in this case, evidence that showed U.S. Marshals waving me forward, inviting me toward the courthouse door, and creating the very conduct they later criminalized, was not produced. Not because it didn't exist, not because it wasn't requested, but because the government claimed it was not preserved due to technical error. Read that again as it scrolls past. After multiple timely demands, after explicit notice of its importance, after the government knew beyond any doubt
it's not going to be here tomorrow.
this footage
Channel's
showed
coming
their
down.
own
If you want to leave,
misconduct.
leave. I don't care. It's
And yet,
if you haven't shared the
the
stuff
court
or
accepted
saved it,
that
it's
explanation.
going to be gone after 1 o'clock in the morning.
In any real courtroom, any courtroom governed by precedent, due process, and basic fairness, the loss of exculpatory evidence does not benefit the government. It destroys their case, but not here. Here, the court excused the marshals, excused the prosecution, and shifted the burden onto the defendant. That is not law. That is favoritism. As this ruling scrolls, notice what you will not find. You will not find a serious analysis of entrapment, even though the record shows federal officers initiating contact, signaling me forward, and escalating only after I criticize them. You will not find a meaningful discussion of selective enforcement, even though others recorded freely and moved unchallenged until my message became inconvenient. You will not find a finding of actual obstruction because there was none. The door was locked, marked emergency exit only. No member of the public was blocked. No access was impeded. No operations were disrupted. What the court relies on instead is speculation. What could have happened? What might have been perceived? What security officials claim they felt? That is not a criminal standard. That is not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. That is fear elevated above facts. Now pay attention to the timing. The judge ordered, by his own words, that a ruling would issue by or before January 15th. That deadline mattered, not symbolically, legally. And yet this ruling came a day late. Judges do not miss deadlines when decisions are easy. They do not delay rulings when guilt is obvious. They do not struggle when the law is clear. This delay speaks louder than any paragraph in this order. It tells you this case was not simple. It tells you acquittal was on the table. It tells you the court knew reversal risk existed. And instead of following the law, the court chose preservation of authority, of relationships, of institutional comfort. As you scroll further, you'll see repeated assurances that this ruling was content neutral. But neutrality is not declared, it's demonstrated. When enforcement begins only after criticism of federal agents, when profanity becomes disorderly only when directed upward, when cameras are tolerated until they document misconduct, that is not neutrality. That is retaliation with better grammar. This ruling tries to separate speech from conduct, pretending the two are unrelated. But protest is conduct. Journalism is conduct. Recording government officials is conduct. The First Amendment does not protect speech in a vacuum. It protects it in the real world, where cameras are held, signs are raised, voices are heard, and officials are made uncomfortable. And that is the real offense here. Discomfort. As this ruling scrolls, understand what you are witnessing.
I'm saying if you haven't cared yet, you're not going to care now, or
a court
freaking 2
explain
hours
why
now,
I was guilty.
is what I'm basically saying.
You are
Everything's
watching
going
a court
unlisted
explain
on the
why
channels.
government
If you haven't shared
should not
or
be
saved the content, you won't be able to access
Now
it
let me say
after
something
1 in the morning.
that may surprise
Period.
you. This conviction is the best possible outcome. An acquittal here would have buried the misconduct. It would have insulated the marshals. It would have prevented review. Instead, this ruling created something far more dangerous to abuse of power. A record. A record of missing evidence. A record of ignored precedent. A record of forum manipulation. A record of speech reframed as nuisance. A record of deadlines missed and standards lowered. and records travel. This case now leaves this courtroom. It goes to judges who were not present. Judges who do not answer to the marshals. Judges who are not invested in justifying what happened here. So I want to say this directly. Thank you, Judge Thomas LeBlanc. Thank you for putting your reasoning on paper instead of doing the easy thing. Thank you for choosing conviction over concealment.
I'll explain after the video.
Because now the question is no
why
longer whether I was disorderly.
If it doesn't make sense, then
The question is whether the government can destroy evidence,
I'll address that after
fake citizens, criminalize journalism, and rely on judicial indulgence to escape accountability. That question, not here. One magistrate judge, but by a panel of judges who will read this ruling the same way you are right now, slowly, carefully, and with the benefit of distance. And when they do, this ruling will not stand, because the Constitution does not bend for convenience. It does not yield to embarrassment. And it does not disappear because federal agents demand it. Scroll on. Let the record speak. And just so everybody knows, there's an article posted on WTPnews.org. www.wtpnews.org. Everything has been well documented in this case. There are things that certainly need to be made privy to the public. It is my intention to do exactly that. Make sure the public gets what the public deserves. Transparency, accountability, and protection of the rights that the government has an obligation not to infringe upon. This is going to appeal. This is going to the Supreme Court. Not backing down.
Hey, Phoenix, both YouTube pages are going to be gone after 1 o'clock in the morning. Anything that's shared or saved, you'll be able to access.
Hey,
anything
they're trying to wake me in the courthouse. So he just waved me in. Should I accept the invitation?
And I'll explain why in just a second.
I should accept the invitation. Hello. After you. Well, look who it is.
Hey, man, look, I'm going to tell you, can't be in here to report it to be arrested.
Okay, you called me in here. You son of a bitch, I was outside on the fucking sidewalk. You told me to come in here, motherfucker. I'm going outside. You called me in here, motherfucker. You baited me in here, you piece of shit. Fucking pussy. You fucking pussy. I'm holding my ground. I'm holding the line. You got to hold the line. You're well within your rights. You cannot. You need to suck my dick. I'm on public fucking property. Let's go. Let's go. No, you're not. I'm getting it. You ain't touching my camera. I'm getting my camera.
You grab your camera and you move it right now. If you don't, I'm seizing this camera.
Is that right?
That is absolutely right.
So what? So this door. This door is locked.
You got 1 second.
This door is locked.
This is an entryway. We're on the other side of the barricade.
I'm fine right here.
See?
Really?
Oh, 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 oh! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Here's the thing. I'm tired of being a fucking punching bag. I can't fight for the people if the people won't let me. Nobody cares, and I keep getting devoured whole, and these unjust things keep being allowed to happen. When evidence can be discarded and not preserved, when speculations can be drawn based on feelings and not fact, when pre-settled case law becomes discarded and looked at like trash, even though it hasn't been overturned, when one's civil rights are no longer important, nobody else's are either. I've been in this fight for 8 years. I've taken 2 completely fake, corrupt felony charges for things that I did not do, and that has created the person that I am today as far as an investigative journalist. When I feel that something is off and I point this out and I do the FOIA request and I find out through a plethora of redacted material that comes back, that guess what? I was right. The U.S. Marshals, the Department of Justice, criminalized journalism, circulated bolos for simply going and recording unsecured lobbies of public buildings. That's criminalizing something. To circulate a bolo and somebody's picture and to push the bullshit that they pushed. And if you don't think for 1 second that a right, a fundamental right that comes under attack like that the solution is not to reinforce that right further, then none of your rights are important. Because if the First Amendment can be discarded like that, we're free of the press. You got all look at the different elements that occurred with this U.S. Marshal catastrophe. They circulate bolos. I find out through the FOIA documents. First of all, I was exercising my freedom of the press, freedom of speech. So that escalates the situation to peaceful demonstration, to public assembly, to redress of the government through protest of the U.S. Marshals. When I held a sign saying, Happy National Fuck the U.S. Marshals Day. Outside of the federal courthouse, which is where this shit stemmed. First of all, the word fuck. The Supreme Court has long said cannot be criminalized, that one man's vulgarity is another man's lyric. When fucked up shit is happening, and I protest that, the very individuals that were the cause of it, when I'm motioned up there, but you can't see it because guess what? I don't have a 360 degree camera. My camera can only see so much. What would have shown them cutting up, waving me up there, would have been the fucking cameras at the courthouse, which are always recording. Why were none of the cameras preserved? After multiple demands to preserve evidence, can a defendant ever get even the appearance of a fair trial? If the evidence such as that mounts the whole case, the whole goddamn case, an entrapment defense, I was down by the road, on the sidewalk by the road, where the public could see my signs in the most visible spot. There's no claim to that being the federal courthouse down there by the road. But the smartasses want to wave me up there. I don't have fear. Sick and tired, being sick and tired of the corruption. I went up there. And I get violently arrested. Camera gear destroyed. So much shit to happen after I was in their custody. The U.S. Marshals sent out an email to all the federal judges 2 months before all this even took place to spoil the judiciary. And how all that stuff can happen. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I swore a lifelong oath to protect and defend the Constitution. The same thing these public officials were supposed to have done when they took their positions and took their respective offices. Judges. Part of my oath and defending the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, was that I would obey all orders of the President of the United States, whoever that is. Everybody in the military takes that oath. My orders come from somebody higher than a federal judge that made a fucking horrible judgment in this case. And now tomorrow morning, we have a constitutional challenge here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I don't expect anything to happen. How can it? How can a judge that didn't find anything unconstitutional about a process, about the entire thing, which was completely unconstitutional, how could he find me guilty at a trial last month and I prevail at a constitutional challenge that was scheduled after the court was already well aware and well informed and decided that they were going to issue judgment first, and then if I was guilty, hold the constitutional challenge on dismissing it if it was unconstitutional in violation of the First Amendment. But that's completely contradictory. If the judge saw that and actually thought that, then the obvious way of going about that would have been acquittal. But as I said in that video that we just got done watching, the best possible fucking outcome that could have happened is that he found me guilty. Because now the question is no longer was my conduct disorderly or was I obstructing an entryway that was an emergency exit. I mean, there was no normal egress. Plus, there was nobody going in or out of the courthouse. It was the only clear place of glass to document the misconduct of the marshals inside who had their phones out and just thought it was a fucking hilarious ordeal. Yeah, hey, Blue Line, I appreciate you keeping that tight on that chat. All right? Because these fucking losers that get on here and say that fucking ridiculous bullshit, I mean, take them off. I've said this for the longest time. Mods on here, people start saying stupid shit, take them off. You can't change those people. They can only change themselves. They're there to just try to fucking cause as much commotion and mayhem as possible. I don't have the fucking time for it. I don't want them in my fucking chat. And, I mean, here's the thing. As I said, come 1 o'clock in the morning, or come whenever I end this live stream, We the People News and Tyrant Cam will be no more. If you haven't taken anything that I've said and that I've demonstrated seriously by now, then you don't take your own rights seriously. Because to allow an injustice to happen and turn a blind eye to know about it and to not act is a choice. And if it can happen to one, it can happen to all. There's no differentiating. Martin Luther King is known well for saying that injustice anywhere, or a threat to justice anywhere, is injustice everywhere, or a threat to justice everywhere. I don't think I quoted that verbatim, but that's basically what he said in a nutshell. In that, a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Has to be. Has to be. I don't care if it's I'm going to fucking cause an uproar if the same thing's happening to my enemy. Because that means it could just as easily happen to me. But if society as a whole, if it's that far gone that nobody cares enough to actually get eyes on something and they'll let somebody fall the most inhumane things that have happened over the past 8 years happen and continue to happen, it's a pattern that's not going to correct itself. It's too far gone off the tracks. And if there's any way of saving it, then hopefully eyes of the public can somehow just respawn and start really caring about civil liberties, civil rights, making sure that you preserve the rights that are here now so that your children and their children can have a taste of freedom. I don't care if I offend anybody. It's kind of the whole point of taking these channels down is if it mattered to anybody, the numbers would show it. The numbers don't lie. So whether it be one of two things that's happening, I can 100% say with a guarantee, one or the other or a combination of both are happening. Either one, people just don't care. They don't care. They're too distracted. They're foaming at the mouth asleep at the wheel. Okay. That. But I mean, when it's as shocking as the things that I've documented, and I've pushed it as hard as I have to try to make the public know and get engaged and push back, then I have to say that that's probably a lot of what it is. Or the other, because there's only two possible scenarios in that situation. Or the numbers are being intentionally manipulated by the ones that I've exposed and am exposing, the ones with power. So it's the reason why people are not caring about these things. Is it because they're asleep at the wheel and they just don't care? Or is it because they're really honestly truly not seeing it because despite me sharing it, despite me putting this information out there in numerous ways so people can see and catch and actually see for themselves the things that are going on, people are not getting the news. And they're either not getting the news because that's getting manipulated, that whole process is getting manipulated, or because they don't care. But one thing I can tell you for sure, it's not because of any lack of effort from me. It's not. And so either way it goes, once this live stream ends, everything that I've documented that has not been shared, because what I'm going to do is I'm not going to actually delete it. But because it's been just a carefree, just attack at everything, I'm just going to unlist everything. Why keep it public? I mean, it's just causing more and more harm to me that nobody cares about. So I'm going to unlist everything. Anything that's not shared, you won't be able to find it. Because, see, here's the thing it's already happened to me. I've already dealt with the hell and the torture and everything that's come from it. The sale and destruction of my equipment, the decimation of family, the intentional separation, the banishment, the witch hunt banishment from Oxford, Mississippi, Lafayette County. I've dealt with this stuff. I've suffered immensely from this stuff. So, me bringing this to the public's attention is not for my benefit. I don't know how many times I have to say this, folks. It's not for my benefit. It's not to enrich myself. It's not for any type of popularity contest. Look at the numbers. I've got nothing. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. Everything that's happened has literally left me beaten, battered, with nothing. But I've still tried to find every way to persevere. Because, it's hardwired being a Marine. I can't, it's to walk away from that is to allow it to continue happening, to condone it. And I just can't, I haven't been able to accept that. But I'm at the end of all this stuff happening to me. And if the public doesn't care anymore, just gaff it off and just, turn a blind eye. And I unlist all the evidence, all the stuff that I've been trying to say. Hey, look at this. Look at this. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. You can't allow this to happen. If it happens here, if it can happen to me, it's going to happen to y'all. It's going to happen to others. So I'm going to unlist it and I'm going to take a backseat view. We're going to see. We'll treat this as an experiment. You had a fighter with me, one that probably fought harder than just about anybody else out there. But I feel like I've been completely abandoned, left just rot, and nobody deserves that. And so I'm going to leave. I'll leave the channels on. Everything's going to be unlisted, and I'm taking the website down. So I sure hope that y'all have saved the information out. There's been so much. Hooray. Look at this. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight all that. Hey, let's throw a party. Let's throw a fucking party. Because guess what? I hope you have fun dealing with the things that I dealt with over the last 8 years. While I sit back and say, I told you so. You should have listened and done something whenever you had when you had every opportunity to, every chance to. I've dealt with this. I let them start doing the stuff to y'all, and it will. It's about to spread like wildfire. It's about to spread like wildfire. It is. Promise you, 100%. And you'll know exactly how it feels. And it's I'll say I told you can't say I didn't do everything I could to warn y'all. Hang around. I'm going to show you one other thing after this.
say they independent, but they quiet when it's real. Profit off the courage, never bleeding what they feel. Got the facts, got the files, got the truth within reach. Silence ain't neutral, silence is a choice when you see it. Yeah. They say they independent, but they quiet when it's real. Profit off the courage, never bleeding what they feel. Got the facts, got the files, got the truth within reach. Silence ain't neutral, silence is a choice when you see. They say they independent, but they flinch when it's time. Truth causes comfort, so they leave it on the line. I'm still standing in the fire, every record still intact. You can mute a man's mic, but you can't erase the facts. I didn't ask for favors, I asked for eyes on the proof. Court stamps, time stamps, transcripts, tell the truth. Didn't need agreement, didn't need a friend. Just journalism that don't fold when it bends. Power always pushes back, that's history class. What shook me was the silence from the ones with the past. Big platform, indie brands, truth in the bio, but freeze when the story might disturb they silo. This ain't fear of loss, it's fear of position. Access over honesty, safety over mission. They monetize rebellion, sell courage by the clip, but won't touch real consequences when the system gets hit. I paid in jail time, finances, family strain. Why they confused talking theory, never touching the pain. So when I say, I notice who looked away, understand this ledger don't fade with the day. They say they independent, but they quiet when it's real. Profit off the courage, never beating what they feel. Got the facts, got the files, got the truth within reach. Silence ain't neutral, silence is a choice when you see it. Journalism ain't vibes, it's verification. Not branding, not friendships, not self-preservation. You don't gotta like me, don't gotta agree. Just follow the record where the evidence leads, and it would've paid. That's the part they won't say. Clicks, growth, engagement, easy runway. But money wasn't missing, courage was scarce. They chose comfort backstage over standing out front. They talk whole power accountable, merch on the screen, but dodge real accountability when it ain't clean. Independent in name, corporate in reflex. Same avoidance patterns, just a different address. I reached out in good faith, no angle, no spin. Just look at the facts, then decide where you stand. Got nothing but quiet, like I never existed. But ignoring injustice don't make you detached, it makes you enlisted. They say they independent, but they quiet when it's real. Profit off the courage, never beating what they feel. Got the facts, got the files, got the truth within reach. Silence ain't neutral, silence is a choice when you see it. So let me say it clean, no theatrics, no plea. This ain't a meltdown, it's a record from me. History don't crown who stay polished and safe. It remembers who spoke when silence was paid. The documents breathe, the timeline's alive. Every attempt to bury it just proves it survived. I'm still here, still filing, still naming the harm. Why they guard their platforms like a gated alarm. If independence cracks when it's tested by truth, then it wasn't a pencil, it was a costume and booth. I'm not asking for rescue, not begging for light. I'm marking the moment you chose not to fight. So when the archive opens and the dust finally clears, let the record show who vanished and who stayed sincere. I stood on the facts, no edits, no noise, and I said it plain. Silence is a choice. Silence is a choice. Silence is a choice.
Look, I'm gonna make this real easy. I'm gonna share the screen. Hey, you know what? Hey, if anybody wants to come up here and talk shit on stage, I'm gonna throw a StreamYard link into the chat. Why don't you put your mouth behind your freaking keyboard warrior shit and and come say what you really want to say. I don't give a fuck. Uh, look, I'm sharing this screen right here. Where's it at? Add the stage. Hold on. Move. Add the stage. Okay. All right. You want the quickest way for you to gather all the proof? You want to fact check something real quick, and that way you don't make the mistake of letting it all just freaking fade away and happen. Go to WTPnews.org. I'm gonna leave this up. I'll leave this up for another hour. But when I end this live stream, I am going to those channels, the YouTube channels, and everything's going unlisted. So I hope you saved it. Like I said, this is the latest article. Everything that I post on this website comes backed by fact and evidence. Uh, Court filings, FOIA documents. Okay, the Galveston, Texas ordeal. Lost a year and a half of my life. Car got sold at public auction for a lying ass police officer who took a favor to falsely arrest me for a crime I didn't commit, saying that he smelled alcohol. Guess what? I hadn't drank in 4 years. Said that steadfastly when the dumbass pulled me over. That's the bitch right there that did the lying. Candace Beavers. You want to see something that you want to see the truth? Hey, there's the video. There's the proof right there. This is a hub of information, hub of resources. If you don't, those that don't know choose to not know at this point. I couldn't put it in a more obvious place than what I've done. I'll tell you about bad actors, okay? What you just heard, that song, that Bad Actors Volume 2, okay? Bad Actors Volume 1, it's out, it's in circulation. I'm going to tell you about bad actors. We'll actually, I wish I would have started this live stream a little bit earlier. But, since this is going to be the last live stream, I'm going to tell you the story about everything. Tell you why I do the things that I do. Maybe you'll have a better understanding. Maybe. I hope. This is proof, y'all. Right here. Let's examine Galveston police officer William Osteen. Officer Osteen's body cam footage shows one of the very first questions Officer Osteen asked defendant is, "You an auditor, man?" Exhibit E, 2 minutes and 48 seconds in. He tells another officer, "Hey, I'm doing this one. This is an auditor." Boom. After having less than a minute of conversation with the defendant, Officer Osteen later discussed with Officer Larry Murph how they can go ahead and arrest the defendant, stating he can go off a slurred speech, and the smell clearly demonstrates Officer Osteen had already decided to arrest the defendant after less than a minute of interacting with him. Osteen claimed I was walking heavy-footed. However, all video evidence shows the defendant walking and standing normally. Officer Osteen had virtually no opportunity to observe the defendant's walking prior to arresting him and obtaining the warrant. Body cam footage shows Officer Osteen wasn't even facing me for the brief period of time that I was walking. All right. Also heavy-footed denotes slow, laborious movements. But Osteen would later testify that I was extremely jittery. Here's where it really gets good. In his sworn affidavit. See, this is going down to one person on Tyrant Camp site. I don't know what it's on the rest of it, but if it's that low for the rest of the stream, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Let's see. It's where are we at? I can't even see. Let's see. Yeah. I got this thing live streamed out to 3 locations. Between 10 to 15,000 subscribers. 4 people are on the live stream. 4. So why do I care? Why am I still on here? I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting the very limited resources that I have. I'm wasting my breath because it's going in one ear and out the other. It's if they cared, the numbers would say it. You can't say that you do and the numbers say what they say. It's just you can't work both ways. Now it's back up to 7, but it's going to drop right back off again. I mean, my damn computer's starting to fuck up anyways. So I guess that's all the more reason uh, that it's time for We the People News and Tyrant Cam to go bye bye. The reason I said go to the site, We the People News. Look at the top menu, and I need to. Well, there's no point in doing it at this point. Bad Actors, the album, Civil Rights Hub, the Rico Tapes podcast, Writing with the Outlaw, We the People News on YouTube, Tyrant Camp, Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Guess what, folks? I don't do that shit for me. I don't make a fucking dime off of any of that. You know why I did the Bad Actors album? Because everybody is a whole. You have audible learners, you have visual learners. You have people that learn better, that absorb things better through reading. You have people that absorb things better through listening. You have people that absorb things better through watching. I tried to make it conducive for everybody. For everybody. I sure hope that, you know, anybody else that puts up a fight to try to save this country's rights and everybody's freedoms, I sure hope that they're willing to try to put the facts and information out in as many places to make it as easily digestible as I've done. Bad Actors album, which is on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, DistroKid, Facebook, every single streaming service. Okay? By Don Matthews. I'm going to tell you a little secret. You know, it's just kind of like Eminem with 8 Mile, with the freestyle that he did. I'm going to take the air out, and you know, I'll go ahead and tell you everything so that you ain't got shit to say and basically try to tear me down. I've never once said that every song on the Bad Actors album that I recorded. What I said is that I've written every single song on the Bad Actors album. I've written every single one of these songs. Nobody else can lay claim to it because they're all factual information about the things that have happened over the last 8 years. It calls out the bad actors for who they are. Now, people can't be everything. I've never tried to make the claim that I'm some musician, you know, I have recorded some music that is in fact my recordings. I write everything. I have recorded some, but I'm not trying to make the claim that I am a music artist. I am a investigative journalist. I am a, you know, I can't be everything. I'm not trying to be everything. I'm trying to do this so that you understand what's going on. And if you're not going to pick it up through reading the articles on the website and looking at the YouTube videos, maybe you'll pick it up through listening to the fucking music. Maybe. I can only hope. It's just another avenue out there. If you go to badactors.online, www.badactors. Oh, I thought y'all were looking at this the whole time. I didn't have this page here. Hold on. Right here. I went to a new tab whenever I clicked on the Bad Actors album. If you go to www.badactors.online, or you can go to www.badactors.site. It's the home of the music that delivers the truth. And on this site, you'll see all the places where it's distributed, circulating. This album has 17 songs on it. I wrote every song. I own the rights to every one of these songs. You want to test it? Take the music and go put it up somewhere. See if you don't get a copyright claim from me. If you're out there just to fucking cause mayhem. If you're out there to actually spread the truth and all that, I'll never copyright strike anything. Never. Because the whole point of this, and the reason why I did this album, and the reason why I distributed it for free, was so that the public would receive it. But I own the rights to all of this. Silence ain't consent, unbroken. I want you to look on this badactors.online, the site. Every one of these 17 songs has a story behind it. True story. In fact, just to go ahead and really breathe the truth into this so that you can understand this clear. I'm going to read you right here. Track number 2, Unbroken. This is the story behind it. Unbroken is the heartbeat of the Bad Actors album. The moment where the storytelling stops whispering and starts roaring. This track is Matthew Reardon, aka Don Matthews, stripped down to the bone and refusing to fold. It is the sound of a man who's been shoved, jailed, smeared, surveilled, extradited, and assaulted. And it still shows up with the camera rolling and the Constitution in hand. The song doesn't glorify survival, it documents it. Every verse is pulled from the wreckage of real events, corrupt cops filing false reports, officials crossing state lines to retaliate, a system that chose power over truth, but instead of breaking, the pressure forged steel. Unbroken is the declaration that no matter how many times they tried to disappear your voice, in a cell, in a hospital, in a courtroom, on a sidewalk outside of a governor's mansion, you walked out stronger. The hook hits like a verdict. You're still here and you're not bending for anyone. Musically, the track blends defiance with resilience, creating an anthem not just for one person, but for anyone who's ever been told to sit down and shut up by those in power. This is what accountability sounds like when it refuses to be silenced. Let's listen to it. You just heard the story, so you can read the stories, and then you can listen to the music.
This ain't just journalism. It's war against the truth.
Go to YouTube and listen to it. Clearly there's a bug that I need to fix because it keeps, when you click on the, oh, we can go to Spotify right here. All right. Oh. It's weird. Just do it on YouTube.
You know what I miss most about playing? Yelling, "Hey!" So I got this job.
This is Unbroken.
They broke the chains, but I walked out free. Every scar they carved just empowered me. 2017, Lafayette's chokehold grip. Sheriff's badge turned to a power trip. Mississippi flag in my righteous hand. Public sidewalk where free citizens stand. Timmy Pruitt rolled up with manufactured rage. No permit, lies wrapped me in a cage. Asked for his badge number. Exercise my right. They cuffed me up in broad Mississippi daylight. Video went viral, whole county shook. They fired back with a felony book. False stalking charge, legal masquerade. All to indemnify the mess they made. 2018, November's bitter frost. Lizzie Crowder weaponized what mattered most. Filed false rape, turned love to a courtroom game. 2 years grinding through manufactured shame. 2020 she pled out, escaped the cell. Paid her fine while my world went to hell. Support for Lydia suddenly flipped and betrayed. 4 years lost, no father-daughter serenade. No bedtime stories, no calls relayed. Just silence where our laughter used to cascade. December 2021, the storm returned. Alcorns ripped while Lafayette bridges burned. Joey East crew snatched me ice cold. No evaluation, no facts, no lawful hold. Tupelo's walls, padded bed confinement. North Miss meds clouding my mental alignment. February 22, they came once more. Alcorns fabrications walked through the door. Newborn son in the ER sacred light. They cuffed me up, stole that holy night. 7 days in solitary's concrete cave. Then East Miss pharmaceuticals to enslave. June 2022, walked through the hall. Oxford City standing dignified and tall. Camera rolling, made a clerk request. Public records, constitutional quest. But they twisted it, spun their narrative line. Mayor claimed fear to blur the constitutional line. Dusted off that restraining order from 17. Weaponized fresh for a felony scene. Charged with stalking for walking through City Hall. For asking questions, for standing up tall. October 22, I fought the machine again. Marched to FBI, laid truth before federal men. Oxford office, evidence carefully laid. But Beavers and Kilpatrick sharpened their blade. November 1st, revoked my parole. November 3rd, they swallowed me whole. Kilpatrick campaign, riding on my back. Used my persecution to advance her political track. Prison walls, once carved in stone. Paid the price, stood defiant alone.
Just
August
answer this
23,
question.
Galveston, suffocating heat. Journalist on assignment, working the street. All Steens, traffic stop, perfectly staged night. False default, we are charged, no sobriety test in sight. 11 months buried, holding my breath. Extradited back to face judicial death. July 24, kangaroo court show, 2-year sentence with zero proof to show. But January 25, post-conviction win. January 22nd, I walk free again. February 1st, Utah's deceptive call. Latent ground, but predatory eyes on all. Sesams reached across state lines, spinning webs with defamatory signs. Rich and spread poison wide. Boring 39 names caught in their slanderous tide. Orrington blocked, grammar's light. Layton City officials dim constitutional sight. March 28th, I dialed that phone. City Hall reception, cold as stone. March 31st, face federal walls. Salt Lake City, where justice calls. They demanded ID, background inspection. I said no. Constitutional protection took my place. Circled my car, still went live, raised awareness far. But the cruelest wound that still remains. Crowder's war, these invisible chains. Lydia's voice, 4 years stolen away. No good night hugs, no Father's Day. Mother and daughter separated by lies. While I break through these core-constructed skies. Filed lawsuits, align the names. Sesams, McCutcheon, their corruption games. Arrington Shield, Layton's wall. Oxford's influence, spanning it all. For Lydia's future, for truth's bright flame. For everything stolen, for clearing my name. This is the anthem, the reckoning beat. Stripped of silence, back on my feet. This ain't over, this is the ascension. Next verse I drop breaks through that dimension. From Lafayette's mud to Galveston's bars, to Layton's walls and federal scar. Yes, I'm the voice they tried to silence through fear, but I'm amplified now, crystal clear.
Hey, so let me pause this real quickly, okay? I'm gonna read another story. I'm gonna read about the next one, the In the Shadows Tonight. I'm gonna read the story right here. The link I just posted. Anybody wants to be they wanna run their mouth, talk that shit. Go ahead and bring your bad ass up on the fucking stage and talk shit. Let's fucking really air it out. Come on. I don't give a fuck. I stand on principle. You don't give a fuck any more than that. You wanna honestly tear somebody down for trying to get the truth out, the facts out in as many different avenues as possible to try to make people aware and wake up. I can't be a I've never tried to say, hey, I'm some fucking uh world class uh performer or whatever, like artist. I have recorded music. That is me. Every single one of these songs that you hear, I wrote. You can't find a person in this world that can actually lay claim to the stuff that is in these songs because it's my life. They didn't have this stuff happen to them. These are my songs. I'm putting it out there in a way that's conducive for people to listen, open their ears, and actually have a true understanding of what's going on. In the Shadows Tonight. And this is another thing, okay? Just like there's so many different types of learners out there, of course, you have people that not everybody likes rap music. Not everybody likes rock music. Not everybody likes country music. Okay. So guess what I did with the Bad Actors album? Put different genres of music, of delivering the truth through the stories that have happened. And In the Shadows Tonight is an example of that. In the Shadows Tonight, The Reckoning stands as one of the most confrontational and revealing tracks on bad actors. Rather than focusing solely on systemic actors or government power, the song turns its gaze towards a more intimate or destruction. Phyllis Crowder, Lizzie, my ex, whose false accusations and manipulative actions set in motion many of the legal battles and human rights violations that followed. The track chronicles the pattern of personal betrayal that grew into institutional harm. Look, I'm not going to read that whole thing. Okay? This is about the reckoning that's coming to those that have truly gone out of their way to destroy the lives and rights of others. Because in this world or the next, they'll be held accountable for their actions. Trust that. They can't just go and do whatever they feel. God will hold them accountable if they're not held accountable in this world. And that's what this song goes to the heart of. Ad. Come on. That's an ad right there, folks. That's not.
I think I'm ready to get.
The way you see an idea in your mind and shape it into something that can only come from
Maybe I'll
you.
get a little ad revenue.
This is how website creation should
Don't
be.
get any other revenue.
Wix Harmony, the new way to create.
Meet Miss Pink. She's a credit wrecker. She
don't
doesn't
watch
know
nothing.
that missing a monthly payment can stay on her credit report for up to 7 years. Don't be like Miss Payment. Learn how to avoid the wreckers at creditwreckers.com. Credit One Bank for what's ahead.
I've been watching from the shadows, through the lies you spun so tight. Every word you bent against me, every wrong you set in flight. You thought the system was your puppet, thought the court would never see. But baby, truth, the storm you can't outrun, and it's rushing in on me. You played judge, you played executioner, you stole the years I can't reclaim. Dragged my name through mud and fire, left me shackled with the blame. But tonight the winds are changing, justice breathes its warning low. You're gonna taste the cage you built when the gavel drops its blow. And I can feel it in the shadows tonight. Oh Lord, the reckon's near, the scales turn right. I've waited for this day through hell and fight. You'll stand where I stood in that prison light, but you'll wear the chains you earned. You won't outrun the day of truth, the day you come undone. You and your crowd of liars, the co-conspirators you raised, signed false papers, whisper stories, thought you'd never face the blaze. But evidence is a silent hunter, it never sleeps, it never fades. Now the wolves are at your doorstep, girl, they're howling out your name. You mocked the courtroom, mocked the truth, built your throne on broken oaths. But I've been stitching every record, every file you thought was ghost. I see the prison doors wide open, they're not waiting here for me. You and your circle dance the circle, but the sinner's crumbling free. And I can feel it in the shadows tonight. The reckon's near, the scales turn right. I've waited for this day through hell and fight. You'll stand where I stood in that prison kings know. You had the hands of men and suits, the court's cold echo. Sheriff's clerks, attorneys blind, they played your wicked game. But the reckoning ain't blind, no, it remembers every name. There's a ledger in the dark, girl, it's carved in stone. Every co-conspirator's marked, standing on their own. They thought they'd never answer, thought they'd never fall. But justice has a long reach, it's coming for them all. You can't hide behind the false smiles now. The tape, the files, the witness crowd. Every lie you signed has a cost, you see. The iron bars don't bend for plea. I carried the weight, I bore the scars, but your reckoning's coming. No matter how far, in the silence of night you'll hear the knock. That's justice whispering at your locked doors block. And I can feel it in the shadows tonight. Oh Lord, the reckoning's near, the scales turn right. I've waited for this day through hell and fight. You'll stand where I stood in that prison light, but you'll wear the chains you earned. You won't outrun the day of truth, the day you come undone. Yeah, the day of truth, the day you come undone.
If you want to hear the rest of the Bad Actors album, there's 17 songs. That album is released for free. Did that as a courtesy to get that out there. I'm not trying to, other than the measly amount of, just the morsels that I'll probably get from any type of ad that plays as it circulates on YouTube. I don't want a dime. I want people to know the truth. That's all I want. That's all I want. Bad Actors Volume 2. You know, when Volume 1 was done and released, of course, bad actors multiply. I realized very quickly that as unjust things were happening, new songs needed to be written about it. Hence the creation of Bad Actors Volume 2, which is about 15 tracks in right now. That one will not be a free release. There's a limit to my generosity on that. The first one was to want to get the truth, facts, everything, and to try to make everybody aware, keep everybody informed. And I drew my line after the first one. Thank you for the super chat, Valerie and Betsy. Thank you for that. This is, I will do this, and it sucks because I just don't have that urge to carry on with We the People News, because I feel like the public has spoken. Their silence is a choice and it's controlling. But I wanted to create on the Bad Actors Volume 2 more or less a theme song for We the People News, a anthem song. And this is that anthem song that's on the Volume 2, which will be, I don't have a set release date for it yet. It's not finished. Oh.
We the people news, exposing every move, every tyrant, every badge, every lie. They approve from Mississippi to Texas, up to Utah too. You retaliate against the truth, and the truth hits. Saving dogs in my address, running interstate crews, marshal judges, dirty cops, all the bad actors in view. I survived every trap that your government used. Now I'm back with the facts. We the people news. Yeah,
Started in Mississippi when the Tan Hills lied. A restraining order forged just to keep me outside. No bonfire, no cars, just political pride. And 7 years later, that fraud still rise. Then the state doubled down, built the case off a myth. NBI in the shadows with a badge and a twist. Stalking charges built on my journalism hits. Fabricating affidavits like they reading from a script. Galveston it next on steam fake. What he smelled claimed odor of alcohol, but the tox screen yelled zero content detected. Still they tossed me in a cell, 11 months in a cage while they manufactured hell. In Mississippi called Texas revocation by request. Leave us lied again and the judge said yes. Sentenced me to 2 years all fabricated stress. Later vacated, overturned, but I still paid the debt. That's the playbook they use when the truth breaks through. Retaliate, suffocate, silence what I do. But I never stop filming, never stop pushing through. Cause the people need the facts. We the people news, we the people news. Exposing every move, every tyrant, every badge, every lie they approve. From Mississippi to Texas, up to Utah too. You retaliate against the truth, and the truth hits you. Been dogs in my address, running interstate crews. Muscle judges, dirty cops, all the bad actors in view. I survived every trap that your government used. Now I'm back with the facts. We the people news. I moved west to Utah, trying to rebuild clean, but laying PD in Oxford ran across jurisdiction scheme. Systems put my data rich and blasted out the screen. Docs my private new address, 1 hour on scene. In a ring to deny records, he knew I could redeem. Grammar twisted into weapons like a county machine. Said a mailbox ain't valid, what the statute they mean. Just obstruction in the trench with a retaliatory lean. Try filming DHS, trespass for walking through. Try filming in airports, ain't retaliatory cue. Every camera that I raise is a threat they construe. But filming ain't a crime, it's a First Amendment view. So I took it to courtrooms, files who's by the stack. Every brief, every motion is me taking it back. They can lie, they can smear, they can launch their attacks, but the truth is a force that the tyrants can't crack. We the people news, exposing every move, every tyrant, every badge, every lie they approve. From Mississippi to Texas, up to Utah too. You retaliate against the truth, and the truth hits you. Been dogs in my address, running interstate crews. Marshal judges, dirty cops, all the bad actors in view. I survived every trap that your government used. Now I'm back with the facts. We the people news. Then came 25, Lafayette, Louisiana. I was filming that court, I was putting truth on the camera. Marshall Nugent waved me forward, staged it like a planner. Then they hit me full force like a government hammer. They seized all my gear, then destroyed the proof. Claimed the tech fail occurred, that's a Brady excuse. Evidence gone missing while the marshals cut loose. Then they charged me for disturbing while they silenced my truth. Ex-parte calls with judges before charges were made. A gag order pushed like they wanted me caged. They attacked the free press, that's the line that they paid. But you don't muzzle we the people when the truth is engraved. Every state, every badge, every retaliatory move confirms why this anthem is the weapon I use. You can censor my speech, but you can't stop the views. I'm the storm you created, we the people news, mate. We the people news, exposing every move, every tyrant, every badge, every lie they approve. From Mississippi to Texas, up to Utah too. You retaliate against the truth, and the truth hits you. Been dogs in my address, running interstate crews. Marshal judges, dirty cops, all the bad actors in view. I survived every trap that your government used. Now I'm back undefeated. We the people news, we the people news. We the people news.
Yeah, I'll carry this thing until 1 o'clock. I'm going to end it at 1. I planned on ending it at 12. Then I got on here almost an hour late. I love music. I think music is a great way to. I think music is a great way to express anything. Anything. I'll play another one for you off of this. Actually, this one. This is a promo. You won't find this song on any album. You won't find it on any album for a reason. I was given this as a challenge to write to this beat, and I did, and I delivered the first verse and uh, the hook and the bridge to the guy that sent it to me. He listened to it. He sent it back to me. He said, "Finish it out. I can't touch it." Like he didn't want to. He wasn't gonna try to throw a second verse on there. He wanted me to put the second verse on there. This is a It's honestly, it's a non-marketable song because there's some sampling in there. You'll hear it'll sound familiar in a way. So it can't go on an album, but I can have some fun with it on things like this. This is I listen to my heart. But, oh, I think it was. Let me go over here. I was so wrong. Hold on. It's gonna be worth it. Trust me. Right here.
They said, quiet, just play your part. But I lost it all trying to listen to my heart. Friends fell off when the fire got real. Family vanished when the wounds wouldn't heal. Lydia's face in my mind through the dark. Her laugh echo loud, it's my spark in the arc. Marriage gone like a whispering wind. While I stood for the truth, they ain't want me defend. Felt betrayal from the ones I fed. Same ones now praying, I wound up dead. Courtroom lies, I ain't for the retreat. Even caged in the system, I refuse defeat. Took every loss, still sharpen my aim. They laugh when I cried, now remember my name. Gave up peace, gave up love, gave up art, but I never gave up. I listened to my heart. They took my freedom, took my name, took my life apart, but I still stood tall. I just listened to my heart. Lost love, lost friends, left me out in the dark, but I never lost soul. I just listened to my heart. They can't kill truth, can't change what's real, can't stop this voice or the way I feel. So through the pain, the war, the cold, the start, I walk this road alone, still listening to my heart. Every tear I shed became a weapon in my chest. Every sleepless night just put my will to the test. I ain't just fighting charges, I'm fighting for my name, for my kids to know they daddy never bowed to shame. They took my time, my home, my spark, but couldn't dim the fire burning deep in my heart. Let them judge, let them lie, tear my story apart, but I still breathe truth, I still listen to my heart. I remember cold nights, Galveston steel, 11 months lost, scars that won't heal. Called insane while they plotted and schemed, but I saw the whole play from behind the screen. Didn't flinch when they brought on the heat, didn't break when the devil tried taking my seat. Didn't fold when the system played dirty, told them I was built for the war, they ain't worthy. Madeline gone, yeah, the silence hit hard, like echoes of laughter, trapped in the yard. Friends dipped quick, love turned to ash, still I rose from the smoke with a rebel stash. I lost years they could never give back, now I'm climbing out the wreck with the truth on my back. Tore me down, but I stood from the start, and I'm down this hill, I still listen to my heart.
Anna.
I came with nothing but two little girls and a Claire and McKenna road. shadows. My whole world hoped maybe she'd want a chance to try to be the grandma she never was through their eyes. But her welcome within by the second night. No warmth, no grace, no flicker of light. She didn't say goodbye, just opened the door like loving a son was a civil chore. And when I said I don't know if I can survive this fall, she didn't lean in, she just made the call. She called the state on my pain, like I was a danger, not a dad in the rain. Didn't ask how the girls were sleeping, didn't wonder what soul I was keeping. She cut it short like it meant nothing, like love was weight she wasn't touching. Said nothing and dialed away, that's how she chose to keep us safe. She called the state. She never rocked them, never knew their laughs, didn't care for birthdays or their little crafts. Saw them as shadows of mistakes I made, like their lives were part of the price I paid. But I gave her the chance, one real chance, to hold what's good in a world gone mad, to help me stand as I tried to be the father I never had. When I broke, when I bled my truth, she reached for judgment, not for proof.
Do it. You need to climb up. Well, you can
she
go up
called
right there,
the state on my cry, like asking for help was crossing a line. Didn't see the strength in being raw, didn't care to understand it all.
Yeah, how
she
you gonna
chose
get to that
fear
slide
over
going right?
faith in her own, chose silence when I was most alone. Didn't check, didn't ask, didn't wait, she just picked up the phone and called the state. Some others built bridges, some just escaped. Mine built a file and sealed my fate. No goodbye, no second take, just the sound of a heart about to break. She called the state on her son and ended what barely had begun. Not with a word, not with grace, just the quiet sound of being erased. No love, no trust, no clean slate, just a whisper
Fixing to go to the movies.
down the line. She
Have you ever gone to the movies?
called the state.
No? Who you going to the
She
movies
didn't
with?
save me.
Gigi, McKenna, and you?
Gigi,
She
McKenna,
called
and me.
the state.
I don't think I'm going.
Aw.
You're going with Gigi.
And we're gonna have ices and popcorn. Do they even sell
Oh, yeah.
ices?
Every song has a meaning, has a story. Every one of them. So for those that want to try to tear me down for trying to get the stories that deserve to be told out in ways where people will possibly listen to them, read them, watch them, you know, the rock music. I have performed some. You want to hear one that I performed? Land of the Free, Unless It's Me, on the Bad Actors album, Volume 1. I try to have at least one of them. There's one that I recorded myself. I'll let you hear that. And that's probably going to take us out to to 1 o'clock or close to it.
Friday is company karaoke, 90s pop theme. And
Yeah. Yo, they told me sit down, but I pulled the chair. Told them I'm the wrong one to frame, I swear. Back in 2017 they drew first blood. Called it stalking, fabricated mud. No mayor involved, just a target on me. Cause I spoke too loud in the land of the free. Oxford, Mississippi, deep in that game. Twisting laws like ropes, tying up my name. Sesam's on the move, McCutcheon in the mix. All eyes on me when I'm speaking in clicks. Took the plea, forced hand, family to protect. But they kept on pushing, disrespect on deck. Jeff Busby smirking, cook door closed. I ask about judges, the whole scene froze. Joey East waiting outside like a plot. Civil written hand, another twisted shot. Next day script, commitment by lies. Alcorn's affidavit, didn't even try. No eval, no call, no care, no proof. Just got me locked while they celebrated truth. Little signing order like it was nothing. Didn't blink once, just rubber stamp bluffing. Thrown into below, padded cell in sight. North Mid State Hospital, taking my rights. I walked out different, but I ain't done. Called Alcorn direct, put truth on run. She told me the sheriff asked her to file, so I dropped a grievance that traveled a mile. Sent it to Rogers, to Little, to court. Within 24 hours, they struck with force. Second affidavit, same play, more dirt. This time I'm snatched while my wife's still hurt. Just came from the ER, baby's lungs too weak. They taking me down while my newborn speaks. Solitary box, 7 days in the pit. Then the East Miss, more beds, same shit. I missed my son's birth for a false claim trick. Still they say it's justice, that narrative's sick. Bob Norman from the DOJ said he passed the flame, then ghosted my fight like it wasn't his name. June 22, filmed a visit in peace. City Hall walk through, no cause, no beef. They claimed I burned knobs, fabricated threats. NBI's Monty said arrest him yet. Tweets used as weapons, free speech on trial. While my baby's in Memphis, breathing fragile. Driscoll withdrew, McClinton installed. Just shuffled case numbers, whole thing stalled. 5-hour hearing, no win, just bait. I pled again, just to walk through the gate. Fast forward time, I leave that land. Utah skies, but they still got plans. Layton PD, getting word from afar. Oxford sending smoke like an unmarked car. Sesam's breached every boundary line. Found my box like a fed-up spy. Richens fired off, defamation mail. 139 names like a network trail. Grammar request blocked, stonewalled by Arrington. Call him on March 28. Now the panic begins. Metro City silent, but the files don't lie. They knew my address, nobody told them why. I showed up at the FBI, docs in hand. Salt Lake City, tried to take a stand. They wanted ID just to take my word. Said no, they got hot, they made it absurd. Kicked me off the public lot, wrote down my tag. All while I'm live, letting truth unbag. Filed my lawsuit in district court. Laid every fact like a final report. Named Sesams, McCutcheon, and Joey too. With Alcorn Little, the whole damn crew.
I'm about to get off of here. Hey, I hope y'all shared this stuff. I hope you saved this stuff because, like I said, I'm unlisting the We the People News channel, Tyrant Cam. Those that want the truth are actually concerned, see it for what it is. You would have shared and saved the links, and you still have access to it. And then it's on the public to help bring the eyes. of more of the public onto these injustices. I'm exhausted. I've been doing this shit for too long. I've been doing this shit for too long with just nothing but loss after loss after loss after loss. I tell you, you know what? Here's one last thing I'm gonna do. All right, and I promise this is it. I'm probably gonna check out while this is playing. If you go to ricotapes.online, that's another link at the We the People News channel. I've got episode 1 of the Rico tapes out. This has got full endorsement by a chief of police of Iowa, Louisiana. He is a good man. That is one good man right there. Actually sat down and talked with him today. To understand why we're at where we're at, you have to understand the beginning. Because it's hard to really grasp the amount of corruption and things that have happened unless you truly know what caused it all in the beginning and created the snowball that has turned into something I pray that nobody else has to experience. Fortunately, I believe plenty are going to see firsthand soon enough. That's why I did the Rico tapes. Another way for people to know the truth.
May 2008. The name Camp Devil Dog might sound like something out of a war movie. But to us, it was just another Marine Corps training base. An isolated post where the days blended into one another. And air carried the smell of sweat, dust, and gun oil. And the rules were as much a part of life as breathing. On that particular night, I was assigned to a roving post. Roving meant motion. You moved through your assigned area in regular intervals, stopping at checkpoints, scanning for anything out of place. In training environments, the most dangerous thing you usually encountered was boredom. But boredom wasn't on the schedule that night. The Marine assigned to us Armory Watch was Lance Corporal Bradley Faust. He wasn't particularly outspoken, not someone you'd pick out in a crowd, but not invisible either. Like many of us, he carried burdens that weren't visible on the surface. As Armory Watch, he had access to the weapons. That's what the position meant. It was a responsibility that the Corps took seriously, entrusting Marines with guarding the very tools of our profession. The night air was still, punctuated only by the occasional call of distant wildlife and the familiar sounds of a military base at night, generators humming, the occasional vehicle passing, boots on the gravel as Marines moved between posts. I had just completed my check of the eastern perimeter when it happened. No one saw it coming. No warning signs that night. No whispered confessions. Just the sound, that unmistakable sound of an M16 set to 3-round burst. In training environments, gunfire was tightly controlled. Live rounds at that hour in that place were never part of the plan. Not only was I close enough to hear it, but I was also close enough to see it. Close enough to get there quickly, but not quickly enough. The scene was something you don't forget.
The way the human body collapses when it's no longer alive. The smell of cordite in the air. The weapon still near his hand. The armory racks standing silently behind him, like mute witnesses. Lance Corporal Bradley Faust had made a decision from which there was no return. Within hours, the officers were there. Not just the on-duty supervisors, but higher-ranking men whose boots didn't usually touch the concrete outside their offices. They took control, ordered Marines back to their quarters, and secured the scene. The base became a flurry of activity. Medical personnel, military police, chaplains moving with purpose through spaces usually defined by routine and order. When the paperwork was done, it said training accident. That label carried weight. It wasn't just semantics. A suicide could mean loss of death benefits for Faust's family. A training accident could preserve them. At least that was the justification we were given. But in labeling it that way, they'd also rewritten reality. I watched as they sanitized the scene, not just of physical evidence, but of truth itself. The official narrative began to take shape before Faust's body had even been removed. A narrative that would protect the institution at the expense of honesty. Senior officers spoke in hushed tones about unfortunate incidents and operational security. Phrases that served to distance everyone from what had actually happened. A Marine, one of our own, had taken his life while on duty. That was the first time I saw how truth could be edited. How the official truth could be made to serve an agenda. In the days that followed, we weren't encouraged to discuss what happened. Faust's personal effects disappeared from his quarters. His name became something mentioned only in whispers. The machinery of institutional self-preservation moved with remarkable efficiency, transforming a suicide into an accident, a personal tragedy into an administrative inconvenience. I stayed in the Corps after that, but I wasn't the same. That night planted something in me. A distrust. A refusal to take official statements at face value. I began to notice other instances where reality was adjusted to fit preferred narratives. Small at first, then increasingly significant. Training incidents where safety violations were downplayed. Disciplinary actions that seemed more about protecting certain individuals than maintaining standards. Equipment failures attributed to operator error rather than maintenance deficiencies. By 2011, I was discharged. The paperwork said alcohol rehabilitation failure. The Corps made it sound like the drinking was the disease, but I knew better. The drinking was just a bandage on something deeper. PTSD, though I couldn't get it recognized because the incident that triggered it didn't officially exist as a suicide. The system that had rewritten Bradley Faust's death was equally efficient at reframing my struggles as simple misconduct,
rather than the consequence of witnessing something that had shaken my faith in the institution I'd committed to serve. Years passed. The memory didn't. One day, I decided to push back. I filed a Freedom of Information Act request, not just for closure, but for proof. I wanted the records on that night, the internal communications, the after-action reports. If the Corps had quietly changed its standard operating procedures because of what had happened, I wanted it in writing. And I got it. Buried in the pages was the change. No more live ammunition for Armory Watch at Marine Corps training facilities. It was an unspoken admission that the training accident wasn't an accident at all. The policy change acknowledged what the official record denied. That Lance Corporal Bradley Faust had died by suicide, and that the circumstances that allowed it needed to be prevented in the future. That FOIA request didn't go unnoticed. Emails started showing up. Some were straightforward denials of certain documents. Others felt more personal. Some carried undertones, the kind you recognize if you dealt with people in power who want you to stop digging. They weren't random. The names tied back to people with connections. Law enforcement, political figures, individuals who on paper had no reason to care about my FOIA request regarding a Marine who had died years earlier at a training facility far from Mississippi. By May 2017, the pressure wasn't just coming from the shadows. It was out in the open. Oxford, Mississippi was in the middle of a quiet political shift. The state flag, the Mississippi flag, had been removed from city property. That wasn't done by accident or slow bureaucratic erosion. It was the result of a push led by then Board of Aldermen member Robin Tannehill. She authored the referendum. The board approved. The mayor signed off. And in a matter of days, something that had flown over city property for generations was gone. Now Tannehill was running for mayor, unopposed. Election day was set for June 6, 2017. That spring, I took my protest to the public square. I didn't carry the American flag. I carried the Mississippi state flag, the one they'd taken down as a direct statement. I believed in the right to speak out, the right to dissent, the right to be visible. That's what the First Amendment is for. But in Oxford, visibility comes with a price. On May 1st, 2017, I crossed paths with Lafayette County Sheriff's Deputy Timmy Pruitt. He wasn't wearing his badge, just the blank space on his uniform where it should have been. That absence spoke volumes before he even said a word. The encounter was brief, but heated. I asserted my rights. He gave me an order to leave. I asked on what grounds. He told me if I didn't leave, I'd go to jail. Moments later, he made good on that threat. The arrest was caught on camera. That video spread fast, shared by large platforms and pages that reached audiences
far beyond Lafayette County. The public reaction was swift and overwhelmingly in my favor. Pruitt's actions were criticized loudly and often. I was told he'd been placed on administrative leave, though some called it a vacation, while county officials decided how to handle the fallout. But the timing was no coincidence. While I was being arrested, my ex, Phyllis Liz Crowder, and her attorney were in Lafayette County Chancery Court filing papers to block me from seeing or speaking to my only child at the time, my daughter Lydia. One hand held the cuffs, while they robbed me of my rights as a father. The rest of May was a steady escalation. The protests didn't stop. The legal moves against me intensified. The email threats kept coming. Surveillance became harder to ignore. The city's political machinery was engaged, and I was in its direct path. On May 26th, everything was in motion. The pressure, the hostility, the calculated steps taken against me, all of it converged. And that's where my story, as you'll hear on the RICO tapes and in my book, American Injustice, begins. What happened to Lance Corporal Bradley Faust that night at Camp Devil Dog set me on a path I never anticipated. His death, officially sanitized, institutionally reframed, opened my eyes to how power operates when it believes no one's watching. The quest for truth about his suicide has led me to question other official narratives, to challenge other instances where reality was being rewritten to serve those in authority. I couldn't have known then that my pursuit of truth would eventually cost me my freedom, my family, and nearly a decade of my life. But looking back, I can see how that night in 2008 was truly the first domino. The moment when I began to understand that official truth and actual truth are often separated by a gulf filled with power, politics, and institutional self-preservation. Justice in America is supposed to be blind. It's supposed to be fair. But the truth is, justice in this country is bought and sold. And if you don't have the money to afford it, you're at the mercy of a system that will chew you up and spit you out without hesitation. Crime does not discriminate. Anyone, rich or poor, white or black, connected or forgotten, can find themselves accused of something they didn't do. But while crime doesn't discriminate, justice does. If you have money, you can hire a private attorney. You can post bond. You can fight. If you don't, you're stuck with an overburdened public defender, unaffordable bail, and a system that assumes you're guilty the moment you step into a courtroom. That is not justice. That is oppression. The state claims that every defendant has rights. The right to an attorney, the right to a fair trial, the right to due process. But what happens when those rights are denied? What happens when a defendant is thrown in jail without a real opportunity to defend themselves? What happens when the state manipulates the system to ensure a conviction, not justice? When the government intentionally denies someone due process, any conviction, plea, or punishment that follows should be null and void. it should be looked at under the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine, the same way tainted evidence is thrown out of court. If the state's case is built on lies, fraud, and coercion, then anything they extract from that process is illegitimate. And yet, prosecutors and judges weaponize plea deals against defendants who are backed into a corner with no real choice but to sign away their rights, not because they're guilty, but because they know the deck is stacked against them. That is not justice. It is legal extortion. When a person is falsely accused, arrested without cause, and then denied the basic protections of due process, the state is kidnapping them under the guise of law enforcement. Think about it. Under U.S. federal law, 18 U.S. Code 1201, kidnapping is defined as whoever unlawfully seizes, confines, inveigles, decoys, kidnaps, abducts, or carries away and holds for ransom or reward shall be punished by imprisonment for any term of years or for life. How can bail not be considered a form of ransom, particularly in a system where the individual is supposed to be presumed innocent until proven guilty? The bail system in America is no different. If you have the money to buy your freedom, you can walk out of jail. If you don't, you sit in a cage. The state is literally holding people for ransom. And what about those who are jailed without bond? What about those who are forced to take plea deals just to escape their captors? What about the ones who have a family crisis involving their spouse and children and take a plea deal solely so they can get their freedom to support their family in a time of need? At what point does this cross the line from wrongful imprisonment to government-sanctioned kidnapping and government-sanctioned human trafficking? The prison system in this country is a multi-billion-dollar industry fueled by overcharging, forced guilty pleas, and judicial corruption. The state profits off of stolen lives and broken families. And then they have the audacity to call it justice. We've been taught to believe in innocent until proven guilty. But let's be honest, that isn't the reality. From the moment someone is accused, they are treated as guilty until proven innocent. They lose their job. They lose their home. Their reputation is destroyed before they even step foot into a courtroom. And if they can't afford to fight, they get buried. The state doesn't care about the truth. They care about convictions because that's what wins elections. That's what funds their offices. That's what keeps the system churning. Judges don't care about the wrongfully accused. They care about efficiency, closing cases, processing defendants like cattle, and maintaining their unchecked power. Law enforcement doesn't care about due process. They care about statistics, how many people they can arrest, how many charges they can file, how much money they can seize in fines and fees, and how to save their job and avoid the next lawsuit if their wrongful actions lead to the false imprisonment of an innocent citizen. We have turned the justice system into a machine that is designed not to protect the innocent, but to guarantee convictions. And I am living proof of that. The justice system in America needs a complete overhaul. We need true accountability for prosecutors, judges, and law enforcement officers who abuse their power. We need stricter protections for the accused to ensure that no one is coerced into a plea deal. No one is held indefinitely without cause, and no one is railroaded by a system designed to break them. We need a justice system that actually delivers justice, not to some,
but to all. Until then, we are not a nation of laws. We are a nation of legalized oppression, where the rich and connected walk free, and the poor and forgotten are left to rot. But that is not how my story ends. My story lives on. I have fought too hard, lost too much, and seen too many others buried by this corrupt system to walk away in silence. This is my fight, and I am not done yet.
I'm going to end it on that note. I've seen some comments in here from some people. Look, when I say something, I like to stand on principle. Otherwise, people don't take you seriously. And I'm going to be dismantling We the People News and Tyrant Cam, but I also don't want to be unfair to the people that maybe just legitimately are seeing this for the first time. It's a lot to put on somebody to expect them to get all the all the things that I've put proof after proof after proof at. Now, it's not fair to them. It's not fair to the work that I've done. If people want to familiarize themselves with it, and I've seen messages, please leave it up through the weekend. It's not fair to me, and it's not fair to them to take it down. So those are the saving graces right now for it. I'm pretty sure you probably just won't hear any new things get published. And if the government gets their way tomorrow, or today in a few hours, then I probably won't have the opportunity to update you anyways. They're counting on y'all not to care. They're counting on you to turn a blind eye and to not watch them fully dismantle and destroy the rights that so many have fought and died for right in front of your eyes. Now the question becomes, will you let them do it? I'm here in Lake Charles. I've stood on principle since day one. That's not going to change. Injustice is injustice. I will not cower and hide behind any type of fear that the court, that the U.S. attorneys, the Department of Justice, anybody tries to inflict. Because I will stand my ground through thick and thin as a patriot would. This is hardwired. There's no option here. The public has a right to know when things like this are going on. And I promised that I was going to deliver that. That's a promise I'm not breaking. Good night, everybody. 9:15 Central Time, Louisiana. If this concerns you, check in on it. I would imagine it would be wrapped up by noon. Just no matter what. I don't care what your opinion is. Just don't have no opinion. Take a side. Take a side. Don't just stand by and do nothing. Say nothing. Hello, Claudia. With that, I'm out. With that, yeah. With that, I'll leave it with this song to play out.
Circle that Monday. Lock it in, lock it tight. National Fuck the Fed Day. Run it. Monday mark red, whole city on alert, alert. Alphabet boys lurk deep in the dirt. FBI creeping like a glitch in the night. Trying to map my whole life off the satellite. Kick those 3 heavy boots, loud steel, but they shake when the truth hit harder than the real. Files on the block, on your mom, on your name, but the story always twisted when they narrate the frame. Surveillance on blast, it's a normalized nick, but we clock every angle that they think we forget. Department of corruption, yeah, the label fits clean. Same tricks, new tech, same paranoid machine. And watch if I say that they build in a cage, replacing our freedom with fear on the page. But every year louder we don't bend, we stay and we circle that money like a kind of display. Play.
National Fuck the Feds, they let it bang, bang. 808 shake while the whole crowd sing. They prey on the weak, but the streets don't sleep. And we rise wide awake when they slither and creep. National Fuck the Feds, they run that back. And the photo ones they pinned in the stack. Not violence, defiance, we demand our say. And we own that Monday like a brand new way.
Next up, marshals, heavy steps in the fall. Cross state, hunts like a wolf with a badge in the jaw. Says justice, but we know that script dragnet wide. Every name gets clipped, every raid prepped up like a flex on the ground. But procedure ain't justice with no truth around. Another file closed, another body misplaced. Same chase, same case, just a different face. Hey, they been running that route since the system began, treating shadows like suspects and suspects like playing. But we flip that weight, interfering the flame, and that money hit back like a claim, reclaim. National Fuck the Feds, they feel that roll.
Our hearts synced up with the kick and the flow. This ain't hate, it's the right to demand truth, rights, dignity, not blood on our head.
National Fuck the Feds, they run that back. Last round attorneys with the courtroom stand, stacking charges sky high just to force your hand. Plea out or drown, that's the deal they imply. Make the truth take a seat while the stats stay high. Inflated and diamond like balloons and hums, so the numbers look strong. Know the justice is smart, twisted words and they're not been kind this tight. Call it fair trial while they rig that fight, but we break that cycle, stand tall, no sway. And we caught it true deep in November's day. National Fuck the Feds, they loud and rock. For the race, the lives, above the law. We rise as one voice, one force, one flame, and we chant that Monday like we own that name. Circle that Monday, November 24th. Same fire, same claim. National Fuck the Feds Day. Forever that name.
It's February 6th as well. Let's go ahead. We can declare that National Fuck the Feds Day as well. Because that's what it's all about. Happy National Fuck the Feds Day, everybody. Good night.